Able to see the in-game chat. You, unfortunately, at home were not able to see it. Sandstorm was in the in-game chat coaching Snowy on how best to beat Cosolix, saying several things like starve him from Lance, he blows all of his options before landing, watch out for the weapon toss, it'll be easy to dodge. And then after that, he said, good luck, Cole, smiley face, which is Cosolix's first name. So not only coaching Snowy, but also being a little cheeky against Cosolix here.
Yeah, I'm sure Sandstorm would love to see the upset, love to see Cosolix go down into the lower bracket and maybe potentially have an easier run into that grand finals. But right now, Cosolix looking very good. I got to caution anyone who runs into Cosolix, don't go for that immediate panic dodge up, because Cosolix does a really good job of chase dodging up for a second nair into the recovery. We saw him get a bunch of knockouts earlier in the tournament with that.
And we're kind of seeing a different Cosolix today. We saw it briefly in a previous set earlier today, but this is not the Mammoth Cup 7th place getting Cosolix that we saw back then. You're seeing a lot of spirit, a lot of fire, a lot of quick movement coming out from Cosolix here early on in these sets. They are going dead even so far. It's been just over a minute into the game. There is a weapon spawn. The dare from Cosolix touched the wall, reset the jumps. Ground pound from Snowy isn't quite fast enough to get the KO. Unarmed sidelight. Even chase dodges after jumps, hits the unarmed recovery. Even without a weapon, still gets the first KO in this set.
Oh, and interesting, Cosolix opting not to try to prime weapons here, because he knows if he sets up into the Lance, would have ended up locking him onto the Axe for the start of this next stock. Because he was deep red, he was like, I'm going to just try to get what little bit of damage I can with the Axe. Unfortunately, was negative, or at least 0. So, going to be coming in here, fresh stock to fresh stock, Snowy with complete weapon control, but Cosolix with the unarmed play.
And he's immediately able to grab, after that unarmed play, the weapon spawn that came in just above his head to the right. So he wasn't starved without a weapon for too long. Snowy attempted to do it, but wasn't further able to continue that. Cosolix controlling the ground. Snowy not really able to land. Gonna hit that clash out there, but continued damage going heavily in favor of Cosolix here. Weapon toss goes high as the dodge in from Cosolix comes out. The side air just barely. Macho Man on the Lance reaching out as far as he could to hit with the tips of those fingers.
Got him with that pointer finger pointed at the way that he was going to be sending Snowy. And Snowy now has a lot of damage to bring himself back in here. Cosolix again going for this vertical play with this Lance. Couldn't quite connect with the down air. Again, trying to get this juggle set up.
Nice little two-piece coming out from Cosolix, continuing it. Just so much unanswered damage. Cosolix is finding so many hits. There's another side air. Snowy over on the wall. Cosolix has no problem really letting him get back. Not sure what that recovery was, whether he wanted to do that as a bait. Goes for the sidelight side air, not true combo, but wanted to end this quickly. Another side air making contact. Snowy getting deep into that orange. One more hit. He's got to be red. A weapon toss won't be the hit option, but there's the sidelight into the side air. Almost a KO. Cosolix goes deep with the dare. The dare comes out from Snowy. GC sidelight. Cosolix has the recovery.
Hey.
Oh! He was so close to hitting that recovery too.
Yeah, that was a really risky option coming out from Snowy. We're seeing Snowy likes to go for that horizontal, right? We've seen him get a couple of hits here with that gravity cancel sidelight in the offstage. Cosolix able to hit the sidelight side air for the knockout for game number 1. We're going to go right back into it. Of course, no swaps from Snowy. Snowy very much committed to the Amethyst, and of course, Cosolix not going to swap on win.
And that was almost a JV2 from Cosolix. So let's pretend for a second that it was a JV2. Snowy put out 460 damage. We're going to divide that evenly between the first two stocks. That's going to be 230 damage that Snowy had to do per stock when he's on an Amethyst, a very high-strength character with 2 heavy weapons.
But to give some credit to Snowy, it's Cosolix going in with a high defense legend on this old grip. So you're going to see those numbers kind of normalize. 200 still very high, but it is going to be more normalized than if it was like this Amethyst going into an Ember per se.
Snowy having a much better time this game, going dead even in damage so far, coming up on 30 seconds into the game. Sidelight side air, Cosolix looking for the true combo option. Went to juggle with some more nairs after for follow-ups, wasn't able to find too much. Another Neutralite's going to proc Snowy red. 40 seconds into the game, already has Snowy into kill damage. Sidelight side air comes out from the middle of the stage, gets the KO.
Dude, you got to give credit to Cosolix hitting non-true things so consistently that they might as well be true in his hands. He hits that sidelight side air so stinking frequently. Again, Snowy on the back foot, has the axe in hand, trying to win out in the offstage. Historically, that's where the Lance will struggle, but Snowy not able to beat out Cosolix in this offstage. Does win out with the side air, still needs to finish the stock off. Cosolix, plenty of opportunities here to get back up safely, and yeah, he's going to land on that soft platform to reset those jumps.
There's the weapon toss that you saw Sandstorm talking about. Snowy was completely far away from it, so he didn't have to burn or dodge or a dash or anything to get away from it. Oh, man. Okay, he's able to finally clean up that stock. Does a taunt in celebration. Minute and a half into the game. He's not too far behind here. Has maybe 50 to 80 damage on this stock. See the D-Light into the down air. Looks for the neutral light follow-up. Cosolix goes high. Snowy catches him with the nair. That anti-air nair. Very high. Here comes the axe for Cosolix. His axe has been... It's been pretty good. He's hitting the sideline. Sertru for the KO. He finished off that stock. Didn't even just finish off the stock. He did primarily most of the damage on that stock with the axe as well. So maybe that coaching from Sandstorm saying starve him of Lance, maybe Cosolix is saying, yeah, you can't do that.
Go ahead and try, but right now, Snowy very much on the back foot. Definitely taunt to get body situation right now, as Cosolix was one side away from closing out game number 2. Didn't quite find the connection, so Snowy going to be able to wrestle back some damage onto Cosolix, but still, Cosolix, the turnaround from Snowy! The fadeaway side air going to bring it down to final stocks. Snowy looking for the cannon spawn, but it's going to be delayed, and Cosolix gets the axe pickup.
Now, on this Axe v Axe fight, well, it's off of an Axe v Axe fight, so it doesn't really matter anymore. Snowy, though, is winning the Axe v Unarmed fight as Cosolix in the orange. After that turnaround side air, Snowy all of a sudden has momentum in his favor. He's tied up the game here, the weapon toss, but in comes the spawn for Cosolix to grab a lance. A lot of attacks coming up from Snowy. He picks up the recovery all the way high and right to get the KO.
What a comeback from Snowy! He was down 2 stocks to Cosolix, and it looked like it was basically over. I said it, that it was basically a taunt to get bodied situation, and he finds the hits he needs to get the comeback.
And he found that consistently throughout that final stock, right? He didn't gimmick anything there. There wasn't like some goofy neutral signature that he picked up on the bottom or anything, some goofy spike he got or something lucky. He just played that really well towards the end, and the fact that he's able to do that in a game 2 situation shows that he adapted quickly. We aren't going to see any change immediately from Cosolix, at least not on the character select screen, as he is still locked in with the Macho Man pick, but Snowy is seriously considering these maps choices here. Small Brawlhaven, Small Mammoth Fortress, and Demon Island left open, but we haven't even seen a single ban come out from Snowy. He's going to the Fortress.
Yeah, that was very interesting of Snowy, maybe trying to play to the name and ice out Cosolix a little bit more, which is kind of funny because usually when you're the one, when you win the game, you're the one who wants to keep that momentum. But maybe Snowy trying to cool things down a little bit, take a breather, maybe try to internalize all that information that Sandstorm gave before game number 1. But here we are in game number 2. Snowy had the weapon advantage, but Cosolix able to find exactly where the weapon was going to spawn to pick up this axe. And a nice 3-piece.
Yeah, it's starting off really strong for Cosolix here. He is a little bit ahead. Both players throw their weapons, both players find hits on their weapon, and both players re-pick up their weapon. Weapon spawn goes out from Cosolix. You see him immediately backing up, dashing back. Even though he went all the way to the right side of the stage, weapon spawn comes in and he grabs it right around that corner. Both players playing around on that wall. Weapon toss goes in. Cosolix now floating high, using the side air to get back. That could be a big down air.
Nice speed up the recovery, and the ground pound. Snowy gonna take the first stock. He's got such a huge health lead.
This is a big difference from the first game, and even a big difference from the second game. Snowy, the adaptation game playing his way. Oh my goodness! Didn't lead to the KO, but damage was done, and it was major. Continuing that, using the weapon toss to continue his pressure. The weapon toss is going to go a little bit low, right below Snowy. Cosolix now swapping over, goes for the sidelight recovery, praying for the days of yore where that used to be true.
Snowy really coming alive here. Cosolix, he's still going to find the sidelight side air. It's been a consistent KO option for him, and of course, going to be prepared to utilize this lance. He's going to need some really solid reads here onto Snowy to bring himself back into this, though, because he is behind. One good big hit from Snowy could be the stock, putting Cosolix down to his final one. The down sig G-Seed, and Snowy gonna pop the fireworks celebrating, maybe trying to get into Cosolix's mental, but he disarmed himself completely.
He might have held those fireworks a little bit too long, and you see Cosolix wants to do everything he can while Snowy is without that, trying to continue his string off stage on the right side. Snowy is able to grab a weapon, still massively in the lead. So that little gaff isn't going to be too bad for him unless Cosolix continues this.
It's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
He got it. He got the nair into the turnaround recovery. That's vintage Cosolix right there. You don't see him hitting that very often anymore.
That's what I'm saying, though. You got to be careful about your dodges in the air against Cosolix, because if he catches you with that nair, he's going to be looking for that nair recovery. And off of that one flub from Snowy, where he just celebrated a little too hard, Cosolix came in, brought out the lance, and took down the stock. And now we're down to final stocks. It's even slightly advantage to Cosolix.
Neutral light coming out from Snowy. Gonna add some good damage up to this final stock. Getting caught high again. You know Snowy's worried anytime he gets caught high with the neutral air. He was chasing after it as fast as those little legs would carry him. Snowy's gonna control the weapons, throwing away the cannon. Wants to go for the axe. Snowy in the orange. Weapon toss goes out. Snowy still holding on to the weapon advantage. Spawn comes in. Cosolix goes right past it. He didn't have quite the range to pick it up. Had to go back for it. Now Snowy at the weapon disadvantage over on the wall. I can't believe that neutral light. Those active frames must have just ran out.
Just barely finding that timing. Snowy playing with fire here a little bit, and the side air from Cosolix. Good dodge through to avoid the weapon toss. Snowy completely disarms himself. Downlight recovery. This can go either direction. Snowy doesn't want the weapon. It's the side heavy, the haymaker. He's going to shrug it off as Snowy puts himself up 2-1 over Cosolix.
Cosolix thought he was making the big brain play by leaving that weapon spawn there, attracting Snowy to fall for that trap, but Snowy didn't. We've already seen some good unarmed play from Snowy. He got the one of his first KOs, I think, that game was from the unarmed kit, so he wasn't even worried about that. He knew what Cosolix was doing and was able to play around that, getting the final KO with the unarmed side heavy, the big haymaker, cranking that back, launching his full weight behind it to get the KO onto Cosolix.
And Cosolix gonna respect it and say, you know what? It's time to go force versus force. Gonna be coming in with the Scarlet base 8 force versus the Zol coming in base 9 force. So it's gonna be a battle of hits. Again, Snowy really gonna play this clock down. Likely will just go back to Small Mammoth.
Yeah, we gotta go to
Mammoth. He really wants to take his time on it.
No way you take Cosolix to Small Brawlhaven or the Demon Island here, especially because of those side walls on Demon Island. Now that he's playing onto the Scarlet versus the Olgrim earlier.
Interesting. Both of them going into the speed stance, taking out of strength. So it's going to be 7 strength to the 8 of Snowy. But here we go. Game number 4. Snowy, 1 game away from getting that upset and knocking the 2nd seed down into the loser's bracket.
First and second weapons are going to go to Cosolix here. Snowy fighting unarmed early on into this. Definitely at the damage deficit here. He will never be able to match the damage output that Cosolix will have on this Scarlet. Going for the GC Insig as well. Snowy spot dodges, has the iframes to get through it. Kind of a greedy side signature going off stage.
Yeah, uncharacteristic of Cosolix. Usually he likes to go for the safer down sig. You saw the stars and Cosolix is gone. Snowy gets the first stock again. No celebration just yet, though. Maybe wants to save him for the final stock.
Now that's something that I think Cosolix will hopefully stop doing now, is going deep off stage. You see he pulls out of that pretty early. Yeah, does go for the dare there, but he didn't have to commit too much to it. He was going to dare into the wall that would give him full jumps back and everything. Wasn't going to necessarily put him off stage where a recovery could get stuffed immediately. Yo, Cosolix with another string immediately as Snowy spawns in.
He's reading these panic jumps from Snowy. Both of those times, read the jump up, got another jump side air onto Snowy for some good hits, some good damage. Snowy staying even with Cosolix right now. Cosolix underneath, you see that chase dodge up, but Snowy went laterally to avoid that second nair.
Cosolix doing a great job avoiding a lot of these moves that Snowy is throwing out. Also gets the reverse nair. Doesn't get the recovery follow-up. It was basically in the same spot, too. I don't think it would have KO'd. Snowy isn't nearly as damaged as he was previously, but he's getting into the red. The beginning stages now. Eats a side air. And see, that's exactly it. Cosolix is not going to go in off stage because you saw everything that Snowy was committing earlier off stage.
Did let Snowy get to the wall relatively safely. Wasn't really challenged for that one, but he has disarmed himself off of that weapon toss. Cosolix going to disarm himself, and now it's going to be the unarmed battle versus the axe of Snowy. Good spot dodge, but Snowy punishes, but the neutral heavy in response, and Cosolix gets the stock.
Snowy is just a little bit behind here. He immediately grabs the weapon. He must have been mashing that. The second he saw it start to kind of materialize in the air, you know he was mashing that one. Cosolix was attempting to strip it away as well. You saw him throw his lance away. Snowy got to the weapon first.
That was like a frame-perfect pickup side air from Snowy. He's getting some good hits onto Cosolix. Cosolix in the offstage. Got to be careful about how he uses his recovery here. Goes back in with the down air. Has not found a hit onto Snowy yet. Disengage. Back up onto the stage. The neutral game is where Cosolix has the advantage.
Ooh, Stacked goes for the side light, but Snowy was right on top of him, so it's not going to make a connection. Snowy even taunts and cleans it up with the weapon toss just in case to make sure. Snowy takes the victory.
What an upset. Snowy coming in, a new blood for the scene, coming in with the Amethyst to get the upset over Cosolix and win it out 3-1 to earn his spot in the top 8.
And that definitely is an upset. You're seeing PR9 coming in against PR3 of Cosolix. Even the winnings, you look at $1,170 for Snowy compared to Cosolix's $22,622.20. This is against Cosolix, a former LAN winner at DreamHack Austin. Man, this is a big win for Snowy.